Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of RTP Behind the Scenes. We get asked a lot, what are the hardest songs for us to play? Rush songs are generally not easy. But a lot of times, they're not necessarily the fastest or the longest songs, not what people would necessarily think of as the hardest songs to play. Today, Bill is going to take you through one of the songs that he finds most challenging to play when we play live. So, enjoy.
Hey everyone, welcome to another exciting edition of the Rush Tribute Project Behind the Scenes. I'm Bill Heck, I'm the guitarist for the Rush Tribute Project. First off, I really appreciate everybody following us and making RTP really what it's become and coming out in support of us. So once again, really appreciate that. If you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel and get more things like this, plus live videos from the Rush Tribute Project, subscribe. I think I'm pointing in the right direction. I think the subscribe button is right down there somewhere. Hopefully I'm pointing in the right direction. Anyway, so Sean, in one of his previous videos, had asked me to, he basically said not to put you on the spot, which pretty much means he's going to put me on the spot. And what he had said and what he had asked for was, he had mentioned in a previous video about covering what is the hardest song we do. Now this does change from time to time. If you ask me in a week from now, or if you had asked me a couple months ago, my answer may have been different. Most of the time, usually what I had said in the past was hemispheres. Reason being is it just keeps going. It just keeps going and going, and it's obviously it's 18 minutes long, so there's that part of it. 2112, which is longer than that, is about 21 minutes long. Not to say that 2112 is easy, but it's much more repetitive. Whereas hemispheres it just seems like every part is something different. There's very little repetition other than the Alex chord that everybody kind of. That one which you hear throughout, but that's one of the common themes. But otherwise, it just keeps going. And I thought about what we've been doing lately, songs we've been doing lately. We've got a show we're going to be doing up in West Bend, which is actually right here, where we're going to be doing the entire Farewell to Kings album and the entire Hemispheres album. So yeah, a lot of challenges behind it, but we love playing it. So we'll see how that goes. But as far as songs that we play often, or at least more often, recently one of the songs that we've started doing again after a break of a few years where we hadn't really touched it was Mission off of Hold Your Fire. Alex has said before that that's one of his favorite guitar solos to play, and understandably, why it is. A lot of people would agree that that's one of the more meaningful guitar solos and full of emotion. It's just really nicely put together. But then I started thinking about Mission as a whole, and none of the parts of Mission are really, really hard. There's some fairly difficult ones, some kind of odd chords, some odd fingerings and things. What really, to me, makes Mission difficult is the transition between those parts. And what I'd like to do is cover some of those parts, kind of how those intertwine together. And what I've done, just for the sake of demo purposes, is I'm using, probably can't see it not on the camera, but I've got the Fractal FM3, which is a portable floor unit, which is not on the floor, it's sitting on the desk next to me, so I can switch just with my hand. But what I'm going to do is go over some of those parts, and I'm going to use a single patch. In one of my previous videos, I had talked about scenes, the use of scenes throughout a single patch. I'm going to be doing that. And I'm just going to use 3 different scenes in a common patch. This one I actually just built, and I did a little modification. I added you'll see in the bottom of the the capture screen, I added a multi-delay, which basically gives it this huge, almost endless delay, which you can really use throughout a lot of the song Mission, especially live. It isn't necessarily exactly what's being done on the studio, but it's kind of the way that I've interpreted it and the way that I play it live. So bear with me with my own kind of personal taste as far as how I built that, but hopefully this would be helpful and interesting. So let's get going. To start Mission, the very beginning kind of gives me a little bit of a break because it's just Sean keyboards, doing the keyboards and singing. So I've got a little bit of time to before I come in. Coming in with a B major, but it's actually played up here on the 7th. And one of the things I'd also like to cover is Hold Your Fire, the album as a whole. There are a lot of different audio textures throughout. There's some kind of punchy, heavier distortion. There's that really bright, glassy tone, which is kind of one of those love-hate tones. You'll hear people that can't stand it and other people that just are fascinated by it. It's really difficult to go from those heavy sounds to those really bright, glassy, clean tones in a live situation. Even if you go back and look at A Show of Hands, the live video, when they played Mission on there, Alex doesn't jump between like a pure studio-esque, glass tone. He kind of does his interpretation of it because it's almost impossible without pickup switching on the guitar to really truly get that sound. And I believe he actually used a Fender Telecaster for a lot of those bright tones. So you'd also be talking different guitar. But what I can do when I get to those parts is kind of show you ideally like the ideal sound, but in a live situation, I'm going to stick with the bridge position humbucker to get through the entire song because there just aren't the gaps to be able to do those switches. So to start off, like I said, everything humbucker, bridge. It's just a major there, lots of delay because it just works for this song. E major. G sharp. This is the 4-6-4-6-4-4. Somebody can comment in the notes below what the chord actually is because I don't remember off the top of my head what it is. I'm not really a theory guy. I do everything by ear. So, but this is one of those chords that Alex uses pretty often, including Limelight. You hear it all over the place. That's that third chord in there. So he kind of uses that 4-chord pattern. There's some repetition there. When it goes into to the chorus section, it's D major. And I'm actually just barring across. You could potentially play it like this as well. But basically the chords that he follows are then on a G, A, B minor, and then it's another one you hear a lot in the Alex stuff that's 4-2-2-2 all the way across. And then repeat. So and then after the chorus section, it's back to another section of the verses where we're back up to and then back to the chorus again. So it's kind of the common theme that keeps repeating throughout the song, where it gets. The other thing he'll do throughout the song, you're going to hear arpeggios going on in certain parts, especially after the bridge section, and I'll jump to that, but where he'll kind of go like a... Now, part of the reason why I had said that Mission I find a difficult one to do live. I love playing it. I absolutely love when it comes up, but it's one of those songs that kind of gives me anxiety when it comes up because it is difficult. And it's not really because of what I've shown you there. It really, most of the difficulty starts on this next section where what I need to do is go that last section of chords, and instead of there, I'll actually put that last one down here as a common D major. Reason being is I need to get to this chord, which is starting on that D string. It's 2 4 2 4. So, but what I also need to do is turn off the drive. You'll see on the screen capture this particular scene. That's the only change there, is that I'm turning that drive block off, which you see it grayed out now. So, no, don't play that. Don't play that. But this particular one, it's this chord where it's 2 4 2 4, and then it'll jump to 4 4 2 2. That's going from low to high, and it's just a series of arpeggios there. So. And I'm barring across across the entire thing, the whole way through there, just to get through there. Really where the difficulty comes in there, though, is going right from that D, doing the effect switch, and then getting right over to the... After a series of those, then I go back to the first scene that I was just on with the drive, and... Then I go to the third scene. This to me is probably the hardest transition in the song, because it's going from a first fret, that chord right there, switch to a lead tone in within one beat. There basically is no gap there. I need to jump to 13th fret on that G and go into the... And I think I played that one a little bit long. I'm just going to go through that one more time. So it's like... So... And then... That's the one that I missed before. Lots of delay. It really is needed on that song throughout Mission. And then I have to switch immediately back to that scene without the drive over to a 5-2 open. Back to the first scene. So really, that whole section there. Just there are no gaps in the changes. There are scene changes. There are some drastic changes, like that one going straight from there all the way up to here in one beat. So, yeah, not a lot of margin for error. Not a whole lot of time to really think about what's going on either. Pardon me while I take my microphone that's like sagging here. There we go. I'm gonna put this back up. We'll see if it stays there for the rest of this video. So that's really, and then coming out of the solo, equal to pickup switch, or the scene switch. So, yeah, that's part of why I find it very difficult, to kind of get through. But then, from that point forward, then it's just kind of the reward of the song. It's a little, He does this little. And then the arpeggios that I was talking about before. Two of those. Back to the lead tone again. From the. Now here's one I want to mention: the use of pinch harmonics, which is, if you're not familiar with it, harmonics are over the fret. Like for instance, whereas a pinch harmonic, I'm actually muting it with the edge of my thumb. Definitely an 80s hard rock thing you hear all over the place, but. Alex uses some of those pinch harmonics, especially on Hold Your Fire. The song Open Secrets has some incredible ones that are just really, really hard to pull off. I hope someday we're actually able to play that song live so I can give it a shot. But there's a pinch harmonic where he's muting with the side of his thumb. And the margin for error, the higher up the string you're going, is the less margin of error as to where that needs to be played, because it all matters on where the right hand is and where you're muting that. So he goes into the. That one right there. And so tough one to get. It's a little bit hit or miss. You will hear Rush live videos of him, playing Mission and some other things that have those pinch harmonics. Jacob's Ladder's got a really nice one in the solo. Sometimes they're missed, even by Alex. But yeah, there's just a lot of margin for error. You could be off just a few millimeters with your right hand in that note that it will not ring out. YYZ is another one doing that. Where you hear those all over the place. Those are a little easier because they're lower on the neck. But to kind of go through the solo, I'll run through it best I can here. Back to the first scene. So great song, Mission off of Hold Your Fire. We've been playing it more and more lately. We'll do a little bit of trial and error on certain songs just to see if they go over. Mission is one of those where when we started doing the Rush Tribute Project back 10 years ago, we had thrown it in the set list a few times, and it was pretty much crickets out there. People were, when are you going to play Tom Sawyer? When are you going to play Working Man? Which I get. So we kind of put it to rest for a number of years, and once in a while we'll bring it back. And lately we've been bringing it back, and the reaction has been much more positive than it had been in the past. So hopefully we'll be doing that and some others, from that era more often. But that's a quick run through of why I consider Mission one of the more difficult songs that we play, but absolutely a rewarding song to do. So I'm glad we get to do it. Once again, thank you for joining. I'm going to sign out for now. Down there, once again, if I'm pointing in the right direction, subscribe to our channel if you'd like to hear more things like this, including instructionals, the behind the scenes, and some live content from the Rush Tribute Project. Hope to see you out there soon. Thanks.